Hi there, Elise Dewsbury here from New Musicals Inc. And this is the 99th post in my monthly vlog, How to Get No Feedback from Elise. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about progressions in a song lyric. This has been coming up a lot recently in my feedback sessions where I've been encouraging lyricists to be considering using progressions to organize their lyric. So you may ask, you may already know or you may not know what a progression is. Let me give you some examples from the Lyric Lab, the wonderful Lyric Lab designed by Scott Guy and evaluated by L.T. Cousineau, which is available on NMI's website. There is a whole unit on progressions. So according to the Lyric Lab, a progression is an underlying organization which gives shape or movement to the idea of the lyric. And therefore a lyric with a progression will begin the listener at one point and deliver them to a different point at the end. So what I often tell lyricists is that a progression will organize your lyric. It takes the basic idea of the song and it organizes it in such a way that it brings your listener through a journey that delivers them to a different place at the end than they were at the beginning. Now there are many different kinds of progressions, some of them a little more overt than others. One of the most common types, I'm going to talk to you about a few of them. So a problem-solution progression is where possibly the first A identifies the problem that the character is having. The second A elaborates on that problem and maybe contemplates what caused the problem. The B, which is our contrasting section, might discuss a solution, a possible solution to that problem. And then when we come back to the A, there will be an action that's going to be taken based on the solution that was considered, or perhaps rejecting the solution that was offered, or something like that. So that's a problem-solution progression. A viewpoint progression. In the first A, the character will say what they believe. I think thus and such, thus and such. In the second A, they'll say because, or furthermore, I believe this because blah, 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 or furthermore, I believe blah, blah, blah. Then in your contrasting B section, but on the other hand, here's the other point of view. I've given you my viewpoint, here's the other way of looking at it, and then coming back to the A, but that's why I say, so this is summing it together, either taking the alternative into mind or not. What is the summary of that? Okay, that's another kind of progression. A pronoun progression, one of my favorites. There's many different ways to do this, but one example would be the first A would be from the viewpoint of I. I think this, I do this, I want this. And then the second A is you. You do this, you want this, you whatever. And then the B explores the relationship between those two. You and I want different things, or we want similar things, or isn't it interesting, or whatever. And then the final A will come around and change the pronoun to we or us. And there's many different ways of following through that pronoun progression, but the idea is that you take us on a journey through a progression of pronouns. There is a past, present, future progression, also another one of my favorites. So in this, you can do it in different ways because you can do it backwards or sideways or however you want, but a standard way to do it would be the first A discusses the past. Here's how it used to be. The second A is the present. Here's how things are now. The B contrasts the two. You know, if only it was still like that, or time is different, or time has changed, or whatever your contrasting section is. And then we come to the A and we sing about the future. In the future, here's how things will be. There's time progression can also be, besides past, present, future, another way to think of it is a calendar. Right? It can use references to the clock or the calendar. It can be morning, afternoon, evening. It can be that kind of progression through time as well. Geographic progression. They organize objects in the lyric according to their spatial relationship to each other. You're the city, I'm the country. When I'm at home, I do this. When I'm out of town, I do that. And then, so for instance, the first A could be about your eyes. I love your eyes, they're so amazing. The second A could be, and your nose is pretty special too. And then the B could be, but on the other hand, your mind is what really matters to me. And then coming back around to the A, and at the end of the day, the most important thing is your heart. That sort of thing. So those are some examples. Before I sign off today, what I'd like to do is give you an example of a progression in a song that hopefully you might know. This is from Camelot, which is a musical that was written in 1960 with music by Frederick Loewe and music and lyrics by Frederick Loewe and book by Alan J. Lerner. So it's a Lerner and Loewe musical, Camelot. This is the song that Lancelot sings to Guinevere. It's called If Ever I Would Leave You, and it's using a time or a calendar progression, a very, very clear one, very overt one, but it's sort of iconic. It also uses a bit of what had been talking about in the last few sessions with a bit of a twist to the hook, which makes it doubly fantastic to use a progression and a twist. So, for instance, the first A, he sings to her, "If ever I would leave you, it wouldn't be in summer. Seeing you in summer, I never would go. Your hair streaked with sunlight, your lips red as flame, your face with a luster that puts gold to shame." So he's basically just describing all the reasons he couldn't possibly leave her in summer. And that hook at the beginning is, "If ever I would leave you." It changes the tiniest bit in the second A to, "But if I'd ever leave you." So at first he's saying, if I do it, well, it wouldn't be in summer. Now it goes, "But if I did leave you, how could it be in autumn? How I'd leave in autumn, I never would know. I've seen how you sparkle when fall nips the air. I know you in autumn, and I must be there." So, and the A changes just a little bit in order to progress into the B, but you see that the first A is all about how gorgeous she is in summer. Couldn't possibly leave you then. The second A is autumn. Same thing. You're amazing in autumn. Couldn't possibly do it. Now we get to the B section. In the B section, we continue. It's contrasting musically, but it's following the progression. And "Could I leave you running merrily through the snow, or on a wintry evening when you catch the fire's glow?" So he doesn't actually say, "If ever I could leave you, it wouldn't be in winter," but clearly that the B section is about winter. On a wintry evening when you catch the fire's glow. It's a short B section. Then we come around to the A, which is sort of an A prime because it has an extended ending. But we come back to the hook. "If ever I would leave you, if ever I would leave you, how could it be in springtime, knowing how in spring I'm bewitched by you so? Oh no, not in springtime." Now he's going to put all the time together. "Summer, winter, or fall." So we've now reviewed all of the seasons that we passed through. "No, never could I leave you at all." And that to me is a fabulous twist. Hasn't been doing the hook at the end of the A sections. This is the first time, and the beginnings have been "if ever," and this is "no, never. If ever I could leave you, no, never could I leave you at all." So a twist there to the hook at the end. So a beautiful progression through the seasons, ending with a twist of the lyrics. So a fantastic example. And I'll come back next month and give you a couple of other examples of progressions. So have a great holiday, and thanks for listening, and toodaloo.